welcome back to my channel. It's been a very long time. It's been 4 months because as you guys know, I was pregnant, and I was about, I can't remember how many months I was. How many months was I, Dom? I must have been about 6.
What month did you last at lunch?
March.
Yeah, 5-6 months.
Yeah, so I was 5 to 6 months pregnant, but we ran into a few problems, and that's why I've been all MIA. So at 27 weeks I had a bleed, and it was quite a heavy bleed, wasn't it? And it just happened spontaneously one evening. I had no pains, like throughout the day. I was absolutely fine.
Well, no, we had dinner as normal, and
yeah,
you went to the toilet, and that was it. Blood.
Yeah,
of it.
and it was like a period sort of blood. That's how heavy we're talking. And then I kept remarkably calm, didn't I? To be fair.
Surprisingly, yeah.
I
you phoned 111 or whatever it was.
And no, I ran the I ran the MAU unit at Oxford, and I said, I'm bleeding, I'm 27 weeks, I haven't got a clue why, and then like 4 ambulances turned up. That's not it, and that's inaccurate.
First response to 3 ambulances.
Yeah, so like they all turned up, and they said like, are you okay? I said yeah. So I'm absolutely fine. I'm bleeding, but I don't know why. And at this point, I didn't feel little and move. So before that, I had a kick from her, and then I just had bleeding, and then I didn't feel her move for quite a while. So of course, like my brain went to like the worst case scenario as it could. You know, it's like I bleeding, I didn't feel the move. I thought, oh no. But I went to hospital. They did an internal and said the bleeding was coming from my lady part. And my cervix was closed, so it wasn't coming from the cervix, which was an indication of the fact that Litland was still okay, the waters were still around her, and stuff like that. So that was quite good.
5 million checks on Litland, didn't they?
Yeah, so I was strapped. I don't think you took a picture, did you, to be fair? Because it wasn't really a picture time.
I might have done, if I have, because I might have sent it to Mum.
Yeah.
If I have, I'll put the picture in.
Yeah.
Just for entertainment.
But yeah, so I was strapped to a machine where like they monitored my heart rate and mainly Litland's really, so that they monitored her. But she passed every single check, and I think I was in Oxford for about 2 days, and it was the worst 2 days of my life because I didn't know what was going on with Litland. I was away from Dom. I was very emotional, and after I came out of hospital, I just spiraled into like, I just wasn't myself. I spiraled into a very dark place. My anxiety was through the roof. I actually didn't want to be in this house. I associated this house with the bleed, so I didn't want to be anywhere apart from this house. So I was finding every excuse under the sun to be around mums, to be around my mother-in-laws. I just did not want to be in this house, did I? No. It was my anxiety was really bad, and I got referred to the perinatal mental health team. That's how bad it got. And I just wanted the pregnancy to be over. I just wasn't enjoying being pregnant anymore. I just wanted her here. I was in a very dark place, wasn't I, Dom?
Yeah, you lost all interest in whatsoever anything.
Yeah, I just wasn't. I just wasn't myself. I'll cry every day. And I've become so paranoid that I'll go to the toilet every 5 minutes, and I check myself, wouldn't I? Like I just wasn't.
Checking your pads and wiping just to see what's going on.
Yeah, I was. Or like I would fear to go for a wee just in case I find some, and obviously I'll be bleeding again, because the hospital didn't tell me the reason why I was bleeding, and I think that is what messed me up mentally, is because they couldn't give me a reason as to why I just suddenly started bleeding. Yeah,
they said there could have been 1,000,001 different reasons you had a bleed.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was a very stressful 2 days, and as a result of that, I finished work in March because the bleeding happened in March, and I finished work because the doctor actually said that the nature of my job was too much of a high risk for the rest of my pregnancy, or pregnancy journey as he called it.
Yeah, like
So
journey, don't they?
yeah, so I got signed off for 2 weeks by that doctor, and then I got signed off for another 2 weeks because of my mental health.
In credit to them, they were pretty quick at putting you in touch with the perinatal mental health team.
They were very, very quick. Because I just said that I was honest truth, like it was awful, and I was awful.
You kept crying. I couldn't even go to work without you crying.
Yeah.
I walked back through the door, you'd cry.
Yeah, like I would want Dom close to me like 24/7.
You cried when I had to leave you in the hospital.
Yeah.
Stay overnight.
Yeah, no, I was awful. Like I was just not me. I wasn't independent, was I? Like I just wanted Dom. I just wanted Dom. You know, like I didn't even want my mum or dad. I just wanted Dom with me. And I know that sounds really odd, but I just.
It's a natural reaction for everyone.
Well, yeah. Clearly, like if his head gets any bigger, he won't actually fit out the front door. But yeah, no. So like in all seriousness, all I wanted was Dom, and like he said, he couldn't go to work without me crying. He'd walk back to my mum's, he'd come back from work to my mum's and get me, and I'll cry as soon as he walks in. And
you wouldn't be in this house on your own.
No, I wouldn't be in this house on my own. However, that stigma got broken when my parents caught COVID and when my sister caught COVID. I had no choice but to be in this house because obviously I was heavily pregnant.
Couldn't go over to see my mum.
No, like I couldn't drive to get over to see Dom's mum, and you know I had no choice but to be in this house because I couldn't be with my parents and stuff because they got COVID and I was heavily pregnant. Didn't want to put myself in that situation, so I actually broke the stigma of being in this house, and I was actually quite proud of myself for that. And then I managed to get out for a few walks, just like around the block, because I didn't want to go too far, just in case, you know, I was heavily pregnant. I got very clumsy towards the end, so I didn't want to like fall over. But yeah, so I'm quite happy that I'm not happy they got COVID. And that, like, let's not say that, but like I'm not happy. But it helped. But having to like have a purpose to stay in this house, it helped me break that stigma, and I'm quite proud of myself for that because, you know, like I was just like I said, I was in a very, very dark place. So having a reason to be in this house led me to loving this house again and having to nest and stuff and get her nursery ready, and I had a reason to be in this house. And you know, I'm quite happy that I've managed to break it because it is a lovely house. However,
so this house is a story for another day, isn't it?
Yeah. So we're having to move out of this house, aren't we, Dom? In December. So our landlord is now selling up this house in December at the end of our tenancy. And this happened like within the last week of my pregnancy. So it's like I was just starting to get over, you know, like the fact is that like I had this bleed and I was just starting to like find myself again. And then we get a letter through the post from our landlord saying that they're selling up because of whatever reason. I won't go into detail as to why she's selling up, but she's selling up for a certain reason. And we need to be out in December. So come what? October. You what, sorry?
I said it's fine, we don't blame her. We understand the reasons.
No, yeah, like we do understand the reasons and we don't blame her. So come then, we are having to move out, but hopefully we can find another house in the meantime. We just got to keep looking. Because his house has got its flaws, and I will say that the house has got its flaws. So maybe it's a blessing that we're moving out now that we've got Litlin, which I will introduce her to you in a minute. She's just sleeping at the minute. But yeah, so we're gonna have to find a new house, but it is what it is. They say things happen for a reason, so maybe this house just isn't suitable for us with Litlin. But I'm sure our next house will be bigger and better and whatnot. I don't know, but it's just all happened, hasn't it, Dom?
Huh?
It's it's just all happened and stuff. But no, but that's why I've been MIA, is because obviously I came into a few pregnancy complications. I had gestational diabetes as well, so
and your group B strep.
And my group B strep. So you know, like I've had quite a few pregnancy complications, and I just didn't feel in the right headspace to pick up the camera, and because like I said, I just wasn't myself. But now I'm back to, well, now I'm finding myself and actually becoming more like myself now, as well as trying, you know, like becoming a mum and finding myself as a mum as well. You know, like it's just I'm becoming myself again, which is what we're all happy with. And you know, and I've got quite a big support network. You know, like I've got Dom, you know, I've got my parents, I've got Dom's mum, you know, like, and I'm still under the perinatal mental health team for a year.
Well, doesn't it change the postnatal, does it?
Oh yeah, the postnatal mental health team, I'm under them for a year. So if I do feel a bit low or for whatever reason, I could just get in contact with them. But I'm all good. I'm all good. But I'll just eat my dinner and then I shall catch up with you guys in a bit. I'm back now. I've just had a tea and I spilt garlic bread down me, so I've got a nice little oil stain or grease stain in my top, which I've now got to try and get out, haven't I?
Yeah, you're good at spilling food.
To be fair, I did this in Great Yarmouth, didn't I, last year, with my green one, because I was trying to wash it in the caravan, weren't we? But yeah, anyway, I'm back now, and oh, you're stirring. Feeding time.
Close.
It's close to feeding time. Yeah, so basically I'm still I'm finding myself, but little miss ended up being late, so we all thought that I was going to be induced, especially early, especially after the bleed, and especially with like my group B strep and gestational diabetes. But no, they said because the group B strep doesn't affect her until my waters break, and even then with the group B strep you have a 24-hour leeway of if your waters break 24 hours and you still haven't had any antibiotics on the drip, then that's when she's got a high risk of infection. But in regards to the gestational diabetes, it didn't. Like, it wasn't affecting her growth, and it wasn't affecting me either. So the obstetrician, he didn't really seem to, like, not like care, but like he wasn't worried.
Term, wasn't he?
Yeah, but they did put me in for induction anyway, because I wasn't able to go like beyond 40 weeks. So I was induced because obviously like she didn't want to come out basically. So I was induced at 40 weeks and 3 days.
When you say induced, you went in for an induction?
Yeah, so I went in for an induction, and as they were going to start to do the internal, I stood up and my waters broke. And I said to the midwives, oh, like, I think like my waters are like, I've just broke. So I had to put a pad on and we had to go for a walk, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because we had to be at Oxford for 6 o'clock in the evening. We was very nearly late because traffic was horrendous. But no, I put a pad on, went for a walk, and obviously then those midwives, obviously it was like their shift ended, so of course I was like passed over to another midwife, and she looked at my pad and went, it's definitely your waters. Which I was then transferred to a side room, and they stuck me on a drip. And
group B strep.
For the group B strep, because if she gets it, it can make her ill, and touch wood she don't. But yeah, so, and that's why I was put on those antibiotics. Was it 4 hours? It was 4 hourly until she was here.
Yeah, it was 20 minutes every 4 hours on her antibiotics.
Yeah, until she was here, and again I had just the straps on me, and we do have pictures of that actually, because you did take pictures, didn't you? You did. Yeah. You did take pictures of me when I was strapped up to all these wires. So I should insert them so you guys can see. But yeah, I had the straps on to measure Littler's heart rate on mine. And again, she was moving around. She was absolutely fine, weren't she?
No, she was wriggling away.
She was wriggling away. Because every time she was put on that monitor, and especially at 27 weeks when I had my bleed, she, bless her, she kept moving, and the midwives have to keep coming back in and try and find where she had wriggled to this time, because she was quite active. She was really active, and her main active time was like in the evening, so around about from 6-7 o'clock through till like 1 or 2 in the morning she was so active. And then I got checked again. I was took off the machine because they was happy. Anyway, they then checked me again, and her heart rate was starting to rapidly spike. I think at one point it hit over 186. It spiked so high. And when I did the internal, because I think at this point they did start to get they started to get a bit, not panicky, but like a bit worried about the way her heart rate was. And I can't remember what time it was. I think I was in the side room till about 11, 12 o'clock.
Oh, I can't remember.
And then I got transferred to delivery suite because I was having contractions, because like when you're hooked up to the machine, one wire does like uterine contractions, and then the other one does like Lytton's heart rate. So I was having contractions, but they weren't, that they were little. They wasn't big ones, was they?
No, they weren't like the intense ones.
No. So I think they're more Braxton Hicks really. But I was then transferred to the delivery suite because my waters are gone. They wanted to get the ball rolling, didn't they? Because of the Group B strip. So I got transferred down there, again strapped up to the wires, and then her heart rate, as I said, spiked about 186, and it just wouldn't come down. So then they did the internal. They said they couldn't feel her head, and then they said, okay, well, we'll do an ultrasound scan to see where she is. So they did an ultrasound scan, and she was transverse, so she was lying across my stomach. So instead of her being like head down, like ready for birth, they reckon as my waters broke, she shot back up and to the left.
Yeah, because she was engaged from 36
6 weeks. Yeah, no, so she was engaged for about 36 weeks, and then they reckon when my waters broke, she shot up, and of course, like, she went to the left. So at this point, I was given an option of put on a oxytocin drip. But we said, well, the obstetrician said you can be put on the oxytocin drip to see if she will move, but there's a chance that she won't. And because obviously we had a time limit of obviously my waters breaking and me not being able to go more than 24 hours because of the Group B strip, it was just too high risk. So I ended up having an emergency C-section.
Well, the doctor was bored anyway.
Well, yeah, the doctor was bored. So basically, like, the doctors were like on like a strike, weren't they?
The junior doctors were striking, so we had the consultant.
Yeah, and he was outside counting syringes, and he went, "I'm bored. Let's perform a C-section," because it was going to be like the safest way for her to be hit anyway. And I already had an epidural at this point, didn't I?
Yeah. Because
the pain, because like the contractions, they did start to get quite intense. So I had an epidural put in anyway, and I had my blood taken. So I was transferred to the theatre to have her at around 6. It was around 6.
Yeah, you went into theatre. Must have been around 6 o'clock.
And then she was born at
6:17.
Yeah. Yeah, she was born, but it would have been earlier.
AM.
Yeah, AM. It was early morning. So basically, between going in for induction and her being born was about 12 hours, essentially.
Yeah, just over 12 hours.
Just over 12 hours.
In the evening.
And then she was
born. By 20 past 6 she was born.
Yeah. But yeah, so that was that was like, not, it wasn't tough. I mean, like, I'm 3 weeks postpartum now, and I'm getting better.
If I missed something, you did say it was a C-section in the end, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I just say it was emergency C-section.
Oh, okay, yeah, I was playing snooker.
Yeah, you wasn't listening. Yeah, he's just casually sat there chilling, playing snooker, while I'm here sat chatting to you guys. And little Miss is just over there in her car seat because she is asleep.
She settled and gave us a chance to have our dinner.
Yeah, because, you know, since becoming parents, having your dinner hot is a privilege right now, because she seems, bless her, so like every time we sit in have dinner, it's like she senses that we're just having
No matter
tea.
what time it is.
She's like, I need feeding now. So yeah, so bless her. So yeah, so she was born by emergency C-section. Obviously, I wasn't expecting that, but it was the best. It was the best outcome, I think.
It was quick as well. So.
It was quick as well, and you know, and we just wanted her hair safe. She was born with a bit of jaundice, and that resolved itself by about what, day 10? Day 10? Do you think?
It was pretty much gone by day 5.
Yeah, but they were
It was
testing.
completely gone by day 10.
Yeah. But then like it was only like a little bit of jaundice. It wasn't like masses.
She wasn't. Yeah, she didn't look like a Simpson or anything like that.
No, so like her skin was a bit yellow. I actually have got a picture of her on her snuggle pod when we got home, so I'll show you guys that, and you can see how yellow she was. And then like the whites of her eyes started to turn a little bit yellow.
After the jaundice was going, funny enough.
Yeah, after the jaundice was going, her eyes started to turn a little bit yellow. But like Dom said, by about day 10, it had completely gone.
Yeah.
So they're happy with that. She did lose 8.1% of her body weight.
Yeah, she dropped 11 ounces, wasn't it?
Yeah, so she was born at 8'7", so £8 7 ounces, and then she lost 8.1%, so she went down to 7'7".
7.6, wasn't it?
Yeah,
7
7'6". And then we was backwards and forwards to hospital every 2 days getting her weighed, just, you know, just to see if like she was like steadily gaining weight. We had a few times where she was static, so she wasn't gaining and she wasn't losing. And then we're now on the up, aren't we?
Well, yeah, we went today, and the little fatty's now £9 too.
Yeah, so bless her. So we went to the health visitor today, and they weighed her, and she's now £9 too. So she's like real gaining weight now, and we have changed the milk because we've been having issues with that as well. So she was on Cow-and-Gate because I'm formula feeding, I'm not breastfeeding, and that's my that's my choice. I chose to not breastfeed.
Well, your milk only turned up for a day.
Yeah, like my milk turned up for a day and then it just went, see ya. So clearly I had a low milk supply anyway. So yeah, so she's formula fed, and she was on Cow-and-Gate first formula, first infant milk, breast milk substitute is what she was on. And we've been having tummy issues with that milk, so we've now been recommended to go on to Kendamil, and that seems to be settling her, doesn't it, like massively?
Yeah, like she sleeps better. She's getting her wind up.
Yeah, like she's getting her wind up and she's settling a lot more. So, I mean, it takes her a while to like get adjusted to the milk, because obviously,
It's only day 3 of using that.
Yeah, so she is adjusting to it, bless her. But no, she is absolutely lovely, isn't she? She is just perfect.
Yeah, she's not a pain in the bum.
I mean, like, so she does tend to cry a bit, and we're having issues with her pooing, aren't we? We're having bad issues with her.
It's just the evening she suffers.
Yeah, she suffers with gas in the evening, really, really bad. To the point where, like, on a couple of times we've been tempted to like go out in the car and see if we can try and settle her that way, or just go for a quick walk around the block, because she just screams and screams and screams, doesn't she? Because she's in so much pain, like with her gas. But we've been told that's normal and it'll get resolved. But we are using Infocol, which we are allowed to use because we checked.
Yeah, it's from birth upwards.
Yeah, from birth upwards. So we're using Focol to help bring a wind up, and to be fair, it does.
And we gripe water at the end of this week, though.
Yeah, no, like we have got gripe water, but that can't be used for babies under 1 month. And because she's a month old on Saturday, we can start using it then. And I can't believe she's a month old already. Like, it's just, these 4 weeks have just flown by, absolutely flown by. But to look at her, and I will show you guys in a minute, she don't look £9.2. She's so tiny, ain't she?
Yeah,
like
little.
And we think that's because she's
dense bones or big muscles.
Well, she's quite long, ain't she? She's definitely gonna take after you.
Yeah.
Like, she's quite long, bless her. But yeah, so the C-section wasn't bad. I'm getting better. I was quite bad quite early on with Nye. Like, I couldn't get out of bed myself.
Yeah, your mobility became awful.
Yeah, so obviously Don wasn't allowed to stay with me in hospital after I had Litlin. Obviously I got transferred.
Well, I stayed with you the night she was born.
Yeah, he stayed with me the night she was born. But when she was born, like, he had to go home at 8 o'clock at night, sorry, and I was transferred to a ward, which was fine. But bearing in mind that I only just had my baby, and obviously by C-section as well, I was so sore I couldn't get out of bed myself, which was horrendous. So of course I had to rely on like the midwives when Dom were gone, and I didn't get the best care.
Not on the ward,
not on the ward, I didn't.
Everywhere else you did, like from the beginning of the visit.
Yeah, so like from like the beginning of the visit, you know, like the midwives on level 6, and the delivery team, like, they were absolutely phenomenal. Like, they were lovely, like they were friendly, and they put me at ease. But staff on the postnatal ward were awful.
They weren't interested, were they?
They just wasn't interested, and I was left in some like real bad compromising like situation, you know, where like I was looking after Litlin when I was like feeling like really poorly, because they just wasn't interested, and other patients on the ward were really inconsiderate and spraying deodorant and playing TikTok videos at like 3:30 in the morning at like full volume, and they just wasn't being very respectful of others on the ward. And there's a really poorly child next door to me, who was screaming and scream. Obviously it wasn't his fault because he was quite poorly, which then meant that Litlin couldn't sleep, and she was awake and I was awake, and like I really couldn't wait for Dom to come back the following day, and luckily we got discharged like the following day.
Yeah, Father's Day.
Yeah, Father's Day we got discharged, and it was lovely to come home, and I was just so grateful to be home and to be in my own bed as well. But like I'm feeling a lot better now. I can get out of bed myself, and I'm starting to do things for myself. I mean, Dom just have to help me sometimes with like bending, don't you? Like, I'm still not quite there yet with my bending, but I'm getting there. And they reckon it's like a 6-week recovery time anyway from a C-section. I can't drive for 6 weeks, so like that's okay, you know. Like, I've got Mum. I mean, like, Dom goes back to work a week Monday, but that's okay. Because like I said, I've got Mum, and Dom's mum will also come over and help and stuff like that as well. So I'm in no rush to drive, because I've got people around me who can drive, who can take us to like doctor's appointments and stuff like that, because I've got our 6-week check soon. So I've got a 6-week check at the GP and a 6-week check with the health visitor, so we've still got a few appointments coming up. But like I said, I've got people to take me, but I'm taking each day as it comes, and we are going back to Merlin parks like Legoland and stuff soon, aren't we?
Yeah, once you're a bit more mobile and better. And
because I mean, I am starting to build my stamina up, but it's not quite there, is it? It's not quite there. Like I get out of breath just like walking around the street, so yeah, it's not quite there, but it is getting better. I'm like on the road to recovery. But yeah, so I'm now going to try and introduce you to a little one. Like, she is stirring, because we are due a feed, so we feed every 3 hours at the moment, don't we? And she seems to have got into a routine, so I mean, I think like this is like a little bit out of routine for her, so like, I think she is due a feed fairly soon, but she normally feeds about 8:30 at night, and then we feed her between 11:30 and 12:30 at night. She likes a 12:30 feed, and then she gets up about 4:30.
Yeah.
Don't she? So it is between 3 to 4 hours that she's feeding, and because she lost so much weight, we was having to feed on demand. So it was just like we was having to like feed her as and when she wants it, and she's been playing catch up now, and playing catch up has actually worked, because like we said, she's like £9.2 now, so she's way above her birth weight. But they still want to check her next week just to make sure that like she's actively gaining weight. So we've been discharged from the hospital.
Yeah, it's just a health check.
Yeah, it's just like the health visitors now, and hopefully we can get discharged from her, like for like the weight bits, next week. And like I said, we still got appointments coming up, but hopefully it won't be solely like hospital focused. It's just trying to sort out her poos, but they reckon that she's just going to be one of these babies what poos every 4 to 5 days, which they said is normal, to be fair, for formula fed babies. So, but yeah, so I'm going to see what the little lady is doing. So like, she's sleeping, so I'm in two minds whether to take her out of her car seat and then put her on a snuggle pod next to me, because like I said, that she needs a feed, but we don't know if to wake her, do we?
You'll set her off if you move her now.
Yeah.
So if you want to show her off, I'd leave her in the chair for a minute.
Yeah. So I'm
feed her afterwards.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I'm just gonna show you Littler now, but she's so itty bitty. She's really itty bitty. So I would like to introduce you to our daughter, Amelia Clark. She was £8 7 ounces, and she was born on the 17th of June by emergency C-section. But she's absolutely perfect. She's our little dinky doll, our little mini moose as we call her, and she's just perfect. And she only gets us up like once or twice in the night, and she's just perfect. Like, we reckon she's got my lips, but the rest of her is dom. Absolutely dom, and she's got so much hair, ain't she, Dom? She's got a full head of hair. It's like, I don't know if you can see, but I said she is snoozing, but she's got so much hair, and it's like so soft, and she's just so perfect, absolutely perfect, our little girl. And yeah, no, like we've had a few problems. Obviously, like, she lost like 8.1% of her body weight, but we're back up to where we should be now, and I'm keeping this sleep suit because this is the sleep suit what she came home in, so I'm keeping this one for like our memory box, what we're going to do for her. But yeah, no, so that's our little girl, and we love her lots and lots and lots, and she's just so perfect, absolutely perfect. So we're just having a little wiggle. We've just had our feed, our evening feed. Oh, and she just farted as well.
Well, I mean, most normal babies would sleep after a feed.
Yeah.
Ours decides to wriggle.
Yeah, she's just farted as well.
Oh, I should probably try and go in.
Oh!
Or was that another one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, when she starts going like a machine gun, you know something's happening.
Yeah. It's when she crosses her legs.
Oh, we couldn't stop laughing at her the other night, could we?
No, bless
Poor
her.
girl.
Bless her, it was just fart after fart after fart after fart. But she did poo though. She did poo though. Bless her.
It's just the constant struggle.
Yeah. Bless her cottons, but she's happy,
She's
look.
quite happy having a wriggle.
Yeah. She's quite happy. Oh, is that right? Oh.
And then we'll show her this when she's older, and she'll be like, why did you shove a camera in my face when I was a baby?
Well, yeah.
And I'll say for this exact moment to embarrass you.
Oh,
Especially if she farted while you were filming.
well, she's obsessed with our Mickey pictures, isn't she? Oh, Minnie Boos, that stinks.
Yeah, she likes the canvases.
Yeah, she likes those ones.
I don't know how much you can see of it, but
Yeah.
she certainly stares at them all the
I think
time.
it's because the colours, isn't it? It's the colours of the...
Yeah, the black and white ones, yeah.
But she just... fixated. Millie Moos, that does actually smell. She's like, I don't care, Mum. I don't care. Ah. And she just projectile vomited on me. So we had to wipe all that, didn't we?
You did get covered in milky sick.
Bless her. Could just watch her wriggle all day.
She had a big feed though, so...
I mean, what's the time? It is currently 9:24, and this is when she was most active when I was pregnant with her.
Yeah, which is
So-
pretty much what she's done every night since.
Yeah. So she comes alive at night.
Although we do suffer the witching hour, don't we?
We do suffer the witching hour, and if you haven't got children, then basically the witching hour is just where they unnecessarily cry, you know. So we'll feed her, we'll change her bum, and she'll still yell, and the witching hour is real. But tonight, I don't want to jinx it, but I think she's quite happy.
Yeah, she's been quite good so far tonight.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Hey? You're just so cute, aren't you?
And she loves musicals.
Yeah, you do love musicals, don't you? You love them. Hamilton, High School Musical, ABBA.
Anything that has a lot of music,
Yeah.
she just gets transfixed by it, doesn't she?
Oh, yeah. Bless her. No, she's just chilling on this and just on her snuggle pod. This is her snuggle pod. And I got this on Facebook Marketplace for brand new, basically next to nothing.
I think it was only about £5, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we have had to make a slit in it, didn't we? Because she tiddled on it.
Oh,
and then,
yeah, the foam insert, yeah.
Yeah, and it got wrapped up in the washing machine, so we had to make a slit in the cover and stuff.
Well, not in the cover,
in the foam.
Insert thing.
Yeah.
The actual zip cover's fine.
And then this lovely blanket is what Dom's auntie got us.
Where was it from? I think
George.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think this one's still got the label.
George at Asda.
George Baby. Chanel blanket. Soft and fluffy.
And she loves it. I think she prefers the blanket to the actual mattress.
Well, it's softer, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Is that right? Is that right? No, don't put your hand over your face. We all want to see you, because you're beautiful. Aren't you? You're beautiful.
You won't be beautiful if you kick your dummy up your bum, though.
Yeah, don't kick your dummy at your bum. Especially if you fart on it.
Yeah.
Hey? Beautiful girl. Oh. Oh.
Especially if she's a big sick on cue.
Yeah. Yeah, you really are fixated with them, aren't you?
Well, she knows what she likes. She likes what
Oh,
she knows.
it's tired being you, isn't it? It's tired being Minnie Moose. Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Ugh. Yeah. Oh. It's bedtime soon, Mills. Yeah.
Well, you say bedtime
Well, yeah. You just go and chill in bed.
until she wants a midnight feed.
Yeah, we do tend to stay awake till midnight, don't we? So she has her midnight feed, and then we tend to settle, and then she tends to get up about 4:30, and then she tends to sleep through till about 8:30, and then that's when we get up for the day and start doing things. But I don't think we've got nothing planned for tomorrow. Oh, have we? Is that what we've got planned? Oh dear. Grumpy face. Grumpy face. Oh dear. Right, I better go and see what this little bear wants.
Probably so.
I've become a Osborne book rep, haven't I?
Yeah.
And what's the matter? You a bit grumpy? Yeah, so I've become a Osborne rep, and I will leave my bookshop linked in the description box so you guys can go check it out. It's called Amelia's Little Bookshop, and of course, was that a big...
Was that a fart or was that a blown raspberries?
I think that might have been a fart.
Oh crikey.
And this is the struggle we have, isn't it? And this is
the struggle she has, yeah.
Yeah, no, this is the struggle she has when she tries to poo. Oh, Millie moves. Poo away. Millie moves. Millie moves, that's a big smell. So yeah, so I've named my little bookshop after Litlim, and I've only just recently started it. My starter pack came a couple of days ago, so like I've got like a load of books, and I've been booked in for a book fair next month. I think it's the 13th of next month, so that's like my first ever book fair. Well, like even like my first ever like stall, because I was going to do one locally for my other small business what I have, but obviously I've had to push that to the wayside, obviously because I was having Litlen, and then like we moved house and stuff like that. So yeah, so obviously I've had to push that to the wayside for now, but I am hoping to get it back up and running. I don't know if I'll do it this year. If I do it, it'll only be like little things, or I'll pick like what little things is easier for me to get done. Otherwise I'll probably end up setting it up in the new house eventually, won't I? I
suppose you could do a little bit for Christmas or whatever, but
because like I've got all my machines I've set up in the corner. It's an absolute mess, but majority of them are upstairs in the spare bedroom. Well,
they're not in the loft.
Oh, loft, yeah. Because they were in Litland's nursery, but it's just really sad that we're not going to be here for her to stay in the nursery, because we have put in quite an effort. I shall show you guys at some point, but we've got all like Winnie the Pooh stickers on the wall, what we've done. I
don't know if you might have done a little...
I can't remember if I shown you her nursery. No, I don't think I did, because...
Did you not do a nursery update?
No. Because we only did that a couple of weeks before I went in to have her, and I've also let my hair down because I've got such a bad headache, which I don't know whether it's the weather, because the change in weather, I don't know whether it's that. But yeah, so I shall leave my little bookshop links below so you guys can go check it out. There's some like offers on for like back to school books and stuff, and get ready for school, but like wipe clean and stuff, like wipe clean like maths books and spellings and first words and shapes, and there's lots of things on there, and the ages from about 0 months through to like 13 plus years, so there's something for like every child, and it's really good, but obviously I'm biased. But yeah, I shall leave that so you guys can.
Did you explain how to spend the money for Litland?
Oh yes, like and basically, like the money obviously I get paid from Osborne will obviously go into like spending money for Litland, for like toys and stuff.
Because we're going to go and do like a bank account and stuff.
Yes.
Or savings account.
Yeah. So because we got her registered Monday. We got her registered because that's the only day I could get to register the birth, because she was born in Oxfordshire, she couldn't be registered in Northamptonshire, so obviously it had to be in Oxfordshire County. So we went to Banbury / Bodycut to get her registered. What's the matter, Poppet? Are you a bit grumpy? A bit grumpy? Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. Oh. Oh, sorry. This is not a good angle. Not a good angle, is it? Oh. Oh, donkey, put a dummy in. I can't reach. Hey? Yeah, like, and it makes it harder for me to like stretch as well, because like I said about my tummy muscles, and obviously with them not having gone back, it just makes it a bit of a struggle for me to move. But no, so we are going to set up a little bank account for her, like I think it's called a junior ISA, I think it's called, and she'll get the money on her 18th birthday. That's what I think that's what it's called. So that's what I'm hoping to do with some with the savings and stuff money what I earn from Usborne and from my little business. I want to put it into like a little savings pot for her, so when she's like 18 and stuff, and you know, hopefully she'll have like a decent amount of money for like a little house deposit or just driving lessons or something like that, just so we can give her a good start in life, eh?
That's the plan.
That is the plan.
With the cost of everything going up and whatever else, it's going to be helpful to have something, isn't it?
Yeah, because it'd be interesting to know what it's like in like 18 years time, like the cost of living, because it's bad now.
Well, you'd have to be a millionaire to buy a loaf of bread, I think.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, exactly. But yeah, so bless her, she's just chilling now. She's just chilling. But no, I think I'm gonna head off soon. I said I've got such a bad head. Like, such a bad head. Like, I've had a bad head recently, but like I said, I don't know whether it's due to the weather. The constant change in like the atmosphere of the weather, it's like, ugh. But yeah. Anyway, I'll just take some well, I have taken some tablets, haven't I? But no. I'm just so, well, I say I'm so tired. Like, obviously Dom's doing majority of the night feeds because obviously I'm still recovering and slow getting out of bed. But obviously with Dom going back to work in, well, a week Monday, I think we're taking a chair upstairs for me to sit on, aren't we? To help feed her.
Yeah.
I don't want to see your work, thank you. Your accreditation.
Yeah, no, I was turning the volume down.
Oh, okay. I thought you showed me, I've got no interest.
No, I can't imagine you have.
But yeah, so we're going to take a chair upstairs so I can sit on the chair to feed her, because our mattress and bed is a bit high. Yeah, no, I do have the rocking chair.
Very well.
No, but we will just make some changes and stuff.